Hi, my name is Ugo Chukwumadoka. You can call me Ugo, and I am a student and substance use disorder student with the Tazana Treatment Center College here in Los Angeles. Today, I want to talk about addiction and the models of addiction. First of all, what is addiction? Addiction can be classified to mean the constant habitual use of or dependence on substance to the extent that the use of this substance becomes part of the user. He comes to depend on that substance even at the detriment of his own health. Now, addiction can be classified into several models. There is the moral model of addiction, there is the biopsychosocial model, there is the brain disease model, and there is the trans-theoretical model. Of all of these models, the one that stands out the most to me is the trans-theoretical model. And the reason is because it has a lot to do with self-help, self-improvisation. What do I mean by that? The other models of addiction has some stigma attached to it. For example, the moral aspect, moral model. When the users are diagnosed with the moral models, there's a stigma attached to it where they see themselves as some societal failure or see themselves failing in their morals. The brain disease aspect also, as beautiful as it sounds, it also has some of its limitations. Nobody wants to be seen as walking around with a brain disease. The beautiful thing about the trans-theoretical aspect of it is that it is self-involved. To explain the trans-theoretical aspect of addiction, the trans-theoretical aspect of addiction has 6 stages, 5 or 6 stages. The first stage is the pre-contemplative stage where the user does not see any harm or any bad reason for using substance. At this stage, the user is always excited to use, is always even advocating the use of substance to other people. The next stage is the contemplative stage. At this stage now, the individual begins to recognize the problem in addiction. The user starts to see reasons why he has to stop. Maybe he's beginning to notice the symptoms like withdrawal symptoms, constant headache, or its effect on his social skills. After that stage, now you have the preparation stage. At this stage, he has decided to take action. He's thinking about how to stop. He's thinking about getting help. He's talking to people about it, making inquiries about help. The fourth stage is action, where he takes action. He goes into rehabilitation, maybe like Alcohol Anonymous. He picks up the phone and dials a rehabilitation center, requesting to come in for help. After that stage is the maintenance stage. Now he has quit use, even though he's experiencing withdrawal symptoms. He's living life without depending on substance. The reason this particular model of addiction stands out to me is that I used to know somebody. If I used to somebody really close to me who was addicted to marijuana use, and this particular person, according to the stage of theoretical theory, at the pre-contemplative stage, he was so excited to use marijuana, and he would go about bragging and excitedly talking about how marijuana was good for your brain, how it was helped you think better, how it gave him appetite, how it made how it increased the dopamine level in the brain and made triple the excitement or triple the dopamine level you would typically receive from engaging in certain activities. And then I was surprised to see him come back to me a few months later and started talking to me about how he's beginning to notice he's having memory loss, which he thinks is as a result of the excessive use of marijuana. He starts talking to me about how he cannot eat, how he cannot feel hunger or have appetite without actually using marijuana. Now he's beginning to recognize the harm and danger. That is the contemplative stage. After that, of course, I advised him to seek help, to which he started making inquiries, which is the preparatory stage. Now he has started calling around, making inquiries, talking to people as to what action to take. Well, this friend or this family friend of mine goes into rehabilitation finally, and he takes that's the action level of the trans theoretical theory, the model. He goes into rehabilitation, gets the required desired treatment he's seeking, and before you know it, he's at the next stage of maintenance. I can tell you for free right now that he's living sober. He's been living sober for the past 2 years, as far as I know. He has been sharing with me how he feel the relief he feels now. In fact, he's always excited to remind me that he knows that the whole thing was a hijack of his limbic aspect of his brain, to which he the dependency or the excitement or whatever relief he felt he got from using substance was just a delusion. It wasn't real. It was just something that was just his brain was deluded into believing. Another reason this trans theoretical model of addiction stands out to me is because many years ago I read in a psychiatric book that states a writer, I forgot the writer now, but he was saying something about recognizing when a victim or a substance user recognizes his habit is a problem. From the moment he recognizes that the issue is already 70% resolved. Why? Because you cannot give treatment to somebody who is not willing to accept that he needs treatment. So the trans-theoretical model of addiction is self-involved. It involves the self. It takes the user to recognize they need help. And for the user to recognize they need help, treatment is easy because they are open to using or they are open to any form of treatment that they will be administered to, versus where the user is still at the pre-contemplative stage. Maybe the family members are trying to administer help on them. There's this resistance that is formed when a user is at the pre-contemplative stage. So I want to say that this trans-theoretical model, I recommend it. I think it's better than, stands out, not better, it stands out from the other aspect, the other models where they are associated with stigma. For example, the brain model, where it creates the impression that the user has some brain dysfunction. Nobody wants to be associated